You're listening to the Simplify Business with Brinie podcast. I help simplify business and marketing for time-poor busy women who run passion-fueled businesses. Listen in each week as I share bite-sized business tips designed to not only empower you, but to help make your business life simpler. Hello, and welcome to another episode of the podcast. I'm your host, Brinie. This week, I'm going to ask you a question. So, you have your own business. You love it. It's passion fueled, right? Which means you give your heart and soul. And I'm not laughing because I have a passion fueled business myself. And I also had another. Now, if I was to ask you what you love most about being your own boss, most of you would tell me that you like the flexibility and you like working for yourself. You would like being your own boss and having no one to answer to, changing the schedule, all that kind of stuff. And I agree. I agree that the flexibility of running your own business, your own passion-fueled business, is the best thing. I'm able to be on canteen or take a half day and see the kids if I need to or pick them up from school. My husband and I are able to go on dates if his schedule works out in the middle of the day. I'm able to visit friends and be really flexible in my workday. But that's because I have systems in place. I don't just change my schedule each and every day. I have systems in place. I have a VA that I need to keep in the loop. I can't just walk away. I've got clients and programs and things that are running behind the scenes. So we have a lot of systems in place, okay? But what a lot of my clients tell me is they fall into one of two brackets, two categories. They either still have their full-time job, as we've spoken about, usually in the corporate space, and that work gets done because they have KPIs, key performance indicators. They have a manager. They have someone above them that they're answerable to. So each and every day they need to dig deep, show up, and move forward. They have to take the action in their business because the buck doesn't rest with them, okay? The other women that I have in my community, in my audience, are women who have left an office job and who are building their passion-fueled business. Now, those women are not dabblers. Those women know what it's like to have goals set for you, to know who you have to answer to know what those weekly meetings are like. Gosh, I remember them being a lawyer. I remember them being in marketing, okay? You don't just sit at your desk and have no idea what you're working on. You know what you're working on, you know what you must get done by a certain deadline, and then you know who you need to pass that information to, or present to, or answer to move forward and move on to the next task, okay? There's a chain of command. Now, the hardest bit about running your own passion-fueled business is that you don't have anyone to answer to. There's no manager. There's no one checking over your shoulder. You might have a mortgage to pay, but predominantly what I find with passion-fueled business owners in my audience is that they are trying to get their business to a point where they can leave their full-time job, or they're in a period of transition where their money doesn't necessarily go towards the mortgage, but you would like to be earning enough that you could make a significant contribution to your household from this business, okay? Maybe you pay the mortgage from your full-time wage, but you would really like to be pulling and making more income from your own business, okay? But that's a bit of a juxtaposition, isn't it? To have the very best thing, being your own boss, being the actual hardest part about running your own business, having no boss. And so this is what I'm proposing. Using the language of my audience, this is what I envisage for action takers. I envisage me being your manager. Not your boss, you're your boss. Think of me more like your line manager. You have tasks you have set for your business, and guess who you need to answer to make sure you hit them. And I want you to just sit with that for a minute. I want you to sit with what it would feel like to have a little bit of pressure placed on you in your business. Does it make you freak out? I remember when my accountant first set me financial goals, I burst into tears in the office because I thought, oh my gosh, it's too real. So I know that jumble of feelings. But I also know the difference it made to know that someone was checking in and behind my back and just peering over my shoulder to make sure I was hitting those financial goals each and every month. Okay? So I'm going to ask you again, what would it feel like to know that you set your goals and actually you're going to send them to someone who's going to check in on you each week? How would it feel to have someone else a little bit interested in your business, a little bit vested in your business? Is that making you feel uncomfortable? I think it's important to get in touch with your emotions. If it's making you very uncomfortable, I don't think then this is the right time for you to be taking this step in your business. But if there's a part of you that thinks, oh, I think I would like to have someone to answer to, and I understand, I've got to be really honest, I understand that saying that out loud might make you feel like a little bit of a hypocrite. It might make you feel like maybe I'm not cut out for this entrepreneurial life. And I've sat with that myself, guys. I have sat with that thinking, I'm trying to be this business owner. This was in my old business. And yet I can't move forward unless someone's pushing me. And that has nothing to do with you and your drive and your motivation and your ability to do what you do. That is a facet of life. Motivation, having someone show up for you and cheer you on, is something that I see in my world, in a number of my worlds, as being one of the biggest drivers to move people forward in any facet. It moves people to work harder. I know, for example, that I work harder in my gym classes when my instructor is yelling at me to go deeper, to work harder. I know that I achieve so many great things for my body when I work with my private instructor or I join one of the gym challenges. I know I work so hard. I know that in my business, when I would go away with a friend of mine and we would set goals and check in on each other, I know we would both work so much harder. For those who've listened for a long time, you know that I still work in the dance space around concert time. And I'm brought in predominantly to motivate the children so that decision makers can do what they need to do. That looks like me showing up and giving my all to let these kids know that they are seen, they are doing a really good job. And yeah, I yell. I'm not going to yell at you, but I do, but it's love yelling. Okay, it's motivational yelling. It's cheering, it's championing, it's being a cheerleader. Those kids dig deep because they understand the need to dig deep. And they understand that there's someone who's got their back. And I think that we forget what it's like to have a cheerleader. I think we're so used to putting everyone else first, to towing the company line, to helping others achieve their dreams, that we forget what it's like to have someone who has our back. But I'm going to ask you, what would it feel like to have someone in your space who has your back, and not just me? What would it feel like to have a small group of women who want you to succeed, who care about whether or not you succeed, and who can help push and motivate you to get where you want to be? I'm going to leave it there, guys. I'll be honest though, I talk about this a lot. I talk about this a lot with the mums at school. I talk about this a lot when I guest on other podcasts. And I talk about this a lot with my current audience, my current clients. We spend so much time and energy uplifting others. And you get to a point in your life where there isn't anybody that cheers you on. You're the adult in the relationship. You're not a kid anymore. And maybe you've got a really supportive partner. I know I do. And my friends, I've got a really close-knit group of friends who do listen. But when you're in business on your own, it can be lonely. It can be hard. And you can forget what it feels like to have someone cheer you on, to support you, and to hold you accountable for what you've said you're going to achieve this year. I wish you nothing but the very best in your business and a cracker 2023. And if you think that this kind of motivation and accountability is what you need in your life, then I invite you to come and join us in Action Takers. The spots are limited, doors are closing, and we start on January 30. For those who've missed, it's my small group program packed full of accountability, motivation, and more than that, action taking. And you get me and a small group of women every week for the year to help you show up and make huge change in your business in ways you've never done before. You can go and hit the link in my podcast notes. You can go find Action Takers on my website, or you can find it on my socials. I have it plastered everywhere while doors are open. They will close and will only be reopening if we do not hit the 10 spots for the year of 2020. We will reopen again in the next quarter for the year to help you move forward in your business. So if it's a not right now, then make sure you jump on the wait list in the event we don't fill all 10 spots, but numbers are looking quite high. And I would encourage you to take action if you intend on hitting the ground running and making changes in your business in 2023. I look forward to chatting with you all soon. Bye.